Hi, I'm Father Joseph Mary, and welcome back to A Simple Word. Marjorie Talcott was married and had one child during the time of the Great Depression. The family barely managed to scrape their way through, but as Christmas approached, Marjorie and her husband were saddened that they wouldn't be able to buy any presents. A week before Christmas, they explained to their 6-year-old son, Pete, that there would be no store-bought presents this Christmas. "But I'll tell you what we can do," said Pete's father. "We can make pictures of the presents that we would want to give each other if we could." And it was a busy week. Marjorie and her husband set to work. Christmas Day arrived, and the family rose to find their skimpy little tree made beautiful by the picture presents they had put all around it. There was luxury beyond imagination in those pictures. Black limousine and a red speedboat for Dad, a diamond bracelet and fur coat for Mom, a camping tent and a swimming pool for Pete. And Pete pulled out his present, a crayon drawing of a man, a woman, and a child with their arms around each other. And under the picture was just one word: us. And many years later, Marjorie wrote that it was the richest, most beautiful Christmas that they ever spent. It took a presentless Christmas to remind Marjorie and her family that the greatest gift we can ever give is the gift of ourselves. And this too is the great gift that Christ offers us, not only at Christmas, but throughout the year, the gift of himself. This is the gift God gives the world. 3 people, arms around each other in an embrace of love with Christ at the center. This is the image of the family. Today we celebrate the feast of the Holy Family, and we have a lot to learn. I always find the timing of this feast so strange. It comes on the first Sunday after Christmas, when many of us have started to overdose on family. After all the parties and the cooking and the visiting and the cleaning and the get-togethers, some of us have had as much family as we can take. Parents are wondering when the kids will go back to school, and the kids seem just as anxious to be gone. And then we come to this feast, and we're challenged to look at what it really means to be a family. The church directs our eyes to the nativity scene, to Joseph and Mary huddled around the infant Christ. We tend to forget that the Holy Family is real. They become figures of plaster and paper rather than flesh and blood. But today's gospel reminds us they weren't too different from us. They were holy, yes. They were also human. In today's gospel, Joseph and Mary bring their newborn son to the temple in Jerusalem. They're here to observe their religious obligations. It was the custom, when a woman had a child, that she could not enter the temple for 40 days. After this time, she had to offer a sacrifice of a pigeon and a lamb as a burnt offering. But if the family was very poor, they could offer 2 pigeons instead. And this is the offering that Joseph and Mary made, because they were a poor family from a poor village. They've also come to the temple for the circumcision of their son. On the 8th day following his birth, every male child was to be circumcised as a sign of his consecration to God. It was at this time that the child received his name. And in the temple at this time were 2 very holy people, Simeon and Anna. They were people of deep prayer, people who were watching and waiting for the Messiah. Simeon reveals that Jesus will suffer greatly, that one day, because of her love for Jesus, Mary will suffer indescribable anguish. What does this gospel teach us about the Holy Family? They were a poor family. They were from a poor village. They were devout and faithful people who trusted in God's plan. They were people who were ready to sacrifice for love of one another. In the book of Genesis, God establishes the family through the covenant of marriage, saying to the first couple, "A man shall leave his father and mother and cling to his wife, and the 2 shall become one flesh." And to this first couple, God gives the command, "Be fruitful and multiply." The church sees in these 2 commands the basic structure and purpose of the family. First, a family is rooted in the marriage of one man and one woman. Man and woman, equal in dignity, are different representations of God made man. their differences psychologically, biologically, emotionally, allow for their complementarity, for their union. The man clings to his wife and the two become one flesh. Why does the man cling to his wife? Why does he form a stable and lasting union with her? Because that's what's best and most just for each other and for the raising of children. Children need a father and a mother. Children need and are entitled to a stable environment of committed love in which to grow. And so there are two purposes of marriage: the union of the spouses and the procreation and the education of children. Note that the union of spouses, marriage, comes before the procreation of children. The union of the spouses is for the good of the husband and the wife. It's a lifelong commitment of one person to another, the total giving of oneself to another person in sacrificial love. And through this union, through the difficulties and the sacrifices of this lifelong commitment, the couple learns to love and grows in holiness. And it is only into this sacred union of husband and wife that it's right to bring forth a child. To bring forth a child out of this union is an injustice to the child. And the child raised in this midst of this loving union learns the love of God first from his parents. The child learns about the gentle, protective strength and the tender mercy of God from the father. The child learns the unconditional love, the fierce embrace, the sweetness and goodness of God from the mother. History teaches us that the family is the basic building block of every civilization in human history. The family is the basic cell and building block of the church. The family is the domus ecclesia, the house church, where children are schooled in the love of God. And so it's in the family that vocations are born. And so see how clever Satan is. Destroy the family, and you destroy civilization. Destroy the family, and you can destroy the church. Destroy the priesthood and the religious life. Destroy the family, and you wipe away the living image of God from the face of the earth. In one of her last communications before her death in 2005, the final living visionary of Fatima, Sister Lucia de Santos, warned that Our Lady had told her Satan's final attack against the church will be the attack against the family. And we live in a time in which the image of the Holy Family is attacked from every side. Abortion, contraception, the promotion of gender exploration among children, premarital sex, pornography, all of these are vicious attacks on the dignity of the Holy Family as established by God. And what are the results? Children born out of the union of love, children aborted, missing fathers, missing mothers, broken families, and broken children. And today the church holds up for us the image of the Holy Family, a man and a woman united in a union of lifelong sacrificial love. A poor family, a family of faith, a family that prays, a family which is no stranger to suffering and to loss, a family in which Jesus Christ is at the center. Today, more than ever, we have to protect and proclaim the truth of the family by defending it from distortions, but more so by living the beauty of this truth in our lives. Sacrifice, service, love, a father and a mother embracing children with Christ at the center. This is the image God intended for the world, but we have to live it out. I'm Father Joseph Mary. Thanks for listening to A Simple Word. If you found this reflection helpful, please be sure to like, share, and subscribe.